Alright guys, it looks like the NA version of the game is going to keep the content coming with this GUDAGUDA rerun, and I'm here to make sure that you have all the info you need going into this new event. Now, if you really don't have the time to stick around for like a 10 to 12 minute video, there are two things you want to take note of. One, there are going to be raids that you want to make sure that you are caught up on, and I've taken the liberty of looking up just, a guide over here. About day 5, the raids are going to be coming out, and you don't have to farm the event super hard until this. Just either just kind of keep going at your own pace or go find like the game press guide, something along those lines, so that when the raids drop, you can hit the ground running on this. Because as I've been trying to really prepare people for, these raids are going to go pretty quickly because they're not that bad. Like, they're actually pretty good. Some of them are a little hit or miss. Like, for me personally, this one's not going to be all that crazy, but they do drop the respective items. They drop the respective class items for the class you're fighting, and they also drop a decent bit of QP if that's something that you do need. Now, we should be getting a lottery in about a month and a half over here on NA as well, so QP might not be the biggest deal, especially because this event allows you to kind of build a base and collect QP every 8 hours, which also make sure you're doing that. But you do want to make sure that you are at least staying up to date on this, because it's another great chance to go ahead and pick up some of these items, especially things like eggs and steaks. Bullets, I know, are things that people can get very low on. Make sure you are ready to do this, because, I mean, you even got fangs up here, which are also really good, and you have a power mod CE, so even if you don't have any of the event bonus servants over here, like, you don't have anybody over here that can really just destroy the event, right? Because, I mean, I just found out that I don't even have Mori for some reason, so I might have to hit the banner to see if I could try to get him, because I think he'll be really good for taking down some of these raids. But even someone like Lubu can be really good. You give him the starting 50% start of battle charge CE, right? That gives you the 100 to 200% power mod when you have the event CE on, and then you just bring like a friend Koyanskaya. I imagine he would be able to nuke any one of these bosses, right? Even though they're about like 680k HP, I imagine you could get the job done with him. But even if you don't have, him, you have somebody better, by all means use them, right? If you've got Kagetora, bring her and just take down the Berserker or the Archer one if you need to do that. Or I imagine she could also probably get it done neutrally, being a free NP5 with a 50% power mod of her own, plus the 50% power mod that she's going to be getting from the CE, right? So that's all very, very good. That's the main thing you want to be doing. The second thing you want to be doing, I think I have it pulled up over here. Nope, not there. It is... this, yes, it's over here. So as you're going through the event, you'll notice that you're kind of building these different fields, and that every 8 hours you can kind of go along. Well, some of them are 12, but mainly these are the ones that I imagine most people are going to care about, unless you specifically need these materials. But basically, over these kind of, periods of time, you can kind of log back in and collect these items, right? And you can really start gassing up the amount of like QP or friend points that you're getting. I think like even right now, I kind of just farmed a little bit using some of the bronze apples and some of the starting silver apples they gave us for the beginning of the event, and I've already got like plus 6 to 8k QP every 8 hours, so that's going to be very nice. And if you have servants or you're trying to grail people, especially guys that might be on event bonus right now, because I believe some of them have bonus EXP, but don't quote me on that, right? Don't quote me on that one. But if you're trying to grail people or still just trying to level them up, like I'm trying to level up my Morgan, just getting extra EXP cards can be very nice. Make sure that you are kind of checking back in, if you can, in the like actual game, to kind of just come and collect your resources over here, because they go back on cooldown once you collect them, right? It's not going to just stack up over time, right? You can't just like leave it there. It's like, well, by the end of the event, you can collect like 100 million QP at once. It's like, you got to start collecting it so it starts going back on cooldown, right? And you can get some really nice items over here, especially if you went really hard on summer. A lot of those guys do need the seashells and everything, so getting stuff like that can also be very good. Dust is always something that people do need, so just make sure you're logging in and make sure that you are ready for the raids. But one of the nice things also about the bonus servants over here is that some of them are very nice for farming, particularly if you have Space Ishtar. You're going to be eating on this event, because dog, she's not only like one of the drop bonus people down here, which you do want to make sure you're taking advantage of this. I know that you got to use your Koyanskayas, got to use your Castorias, but try to use one of these guys as your farmer and try to load up your backline with these people, because it makes your life so much easier when it comes to farming. But that's why Space Ishtar, you're absolutely eating, right? Because whether or not you're going to be using, arts farming, buster farming, she can do either one for you, and she's going to be getting that bonus power mod. So even if yours is like NP1, she should be clearing, because I believe this is the free quest. They're not all that big, right? I mean, even if you have to, for whatever reason, slap on the event 50% CE, that plus like any one of these guys being on bonus damage is going to be more than enough to allow you to pretty much clear everything here, right? And it's not like your farming options are all that bad. You've got Emiya out here. You've got Okita Alter, who's not that bad. I mean, I already talked about Space Ishtar. Gilgamesh is still pretty usable. Okita Alter's Saber over here is not too bad. You've got really solid options is kind of what we're getting at. That you could just kind of use these. I mean, even Shen Gong over here. If you've got, you know, your waivers, you've got your Rainses, you've got just pretty much anybody that can continue to fill him with gas and NP, that he's going to be ready to just absolutely just eviscerate all these different farming nodes. But one of the things that I do really recommend is loading up on these guys. I recommend going to the friend point gacha as well, because the friend point gacha right now, when you're waiting for your AP to refresh, is very good because you can get Nobukatsu, who gives you a bonus for all of these, and you can potentially get the event bronze currency CE, but also you can get these craft essences that are pretty much really good for doing CE bombs and leveling up, you know, your favorite CEs. And we just had Aerial Drive come back, and that is a really, really good CE to level up. You know, it's free, fully max limit broken. It gives you very powerful effects, and it's an attack CE. That is just a really good example of something to level up. But if you got your K-scopes, if you've got, I don't know, your Black Grails, anything like that, you even have a couple of dupes into, maybe not even fully max limit broken, but getting just those little bit of extra stats can be very, very powerful. So make sure that you are not squandering these. There are also a few in the shop, so just make sure you're going after and making, you know, just grabbing all these, as well as grabbing your free Nobukatsu over here. Now, speaking of summoning, we got a summoning banner over here. Himiko's going back on raid up, and this is a really tough one because for the rest of the year, it's not like any more like crazy servants are coming out that are new. I mean, Izumo's a good new servant. Ryoma Lanter's an okay new servant, but then really what people are going to be paying attention for is the Thanksgiving banner, because that usually brings out a lot of exclusive reruns that we get over here on NA, so people are going to be looking out for that. And you have Scotty, Melusine, Koyen Dark, and Light coming out for New Year's, so if you're looking at any one of them and you really want to snag one of those units, I would probably hold off on Himiko unless you really do want her, because she is very fun to use and more of these like CQ style setups where she's just kind of good at delivering a lot of punishment on the boss and kind of keeping herself around for a decent bit. I'll drop a video on her tomorrow to kind of go over her kit in more depth, but if you want to summon for her, she's worth it. It's just kind of consider some of the other servants that are going to be coming back after this event leaves, right? You also, you also have Okita, excuse me. You also have her going on raid up. She's not bad. I do like using Okita. Her kit is like, I don't want to say slightly dated. It's just, it's very simple, right? I don't think her kit is bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it's very straightforward. Like, she's not going to do anything super special in a lot of these boss fights. But look, even someone like Melusine technically doesn't do anything super special. Like, there's no like power mods, there's no like insane stacking of damage or anything. She can swap her NP types, but you're typically going to leave her as a single target for the battle, so you might not even use her third skill. Okita, or not Okita Alter, but Okita is kind of the same way, where just very straightforward, simple skills. You know, she can stack up a good bit of damage with one of her skills. She's got a battery now, which makes her a little bit better. Dodge is a very good form of survivability, and you know, she can drop a lot of stars, refund a lot on those crits. She's just a very straightforward, good character. You know, if you want to summon for, say, like Melusine later on, I would say saving for like them or Scotty is going to be a bit more worth your Saint Quartz, but I've never regretted, you know, pulling for Okita. I definitely think she's very, very strong. And if you're a newer player, very easy to use. I guess more experienced players would probably like to go for someone more like Himiko, because she's kind of one of those Miss Crane type servants where the more you kind of know about the game and the better you are at playing, the more rewarding they are. But Okita is just very straightforward and easy to use. Hijikata, anyway, let's move on. If you want to summon for Pickle Man, by all means, go ahead and do that. Now, there is the CQ as well. Now, this one might look very complicated. You read all this stuff and you're like, oh my goodness, look at all this random minutia they're doing. But look, basically, all you got to do is smoke Nobukatsu, then you smoke Nobu over here, and you're all good. It's pretty much as simple as that. I'll probably drop one of my videos just absolutely smoking this challenge quest whenever it actually drops over here on NA, but it's not that hard. Smoke him, and then you smoke her. It's not that difficult, especially because you not only have the event bonus for servants, but you also have a 200% power mod as well that you're getting from the event CE. So this is not all that much HP. You might actually just start like one-shotting these bars with NPs or with just really good crit turns. So it's not all that difficult. Moving over to some of the free-to-play stuff that we're going to be getting, so everybody will get stuff like this. We have the free-to-play CE that I'm talking about. It gives you the 200% power mod during the event. It's not the craziest. It's a split HP and attack CE, so you're really not going to be leveling this one up. And the effects are fine, like 15% crit damage is fine, and then really just kind of capitalizing on your buster crit damage. Like, it's kind of nice on, say, Himiko specifically, because she likes to do some big busty crits, but, you know, you got better CEs you could be using. Like, there's Victor of the Moon that I think is really good. You just have better crit CEs for Buster Servants, but this is not bad if you already have, or if you don't have, my bad, you don't have some of those other different CEs for Buster Crit Servants, right? So it's fine enough, but you probably won't find yourself using it all that often. You'll notice we're not talking about a free-to-play servant for this event because Nobukatsu on the Friend Point Gacha technically is the Friend Point servant or the free-to-play servant. Just get as many of copies of him as you can. You'll thank me later when Grail Casting comes out. You'll sell all the coins and get like a couple Grails out of that, hopefully, if you get enough of them, but yeah, there's no free-to-play, so you might be like, where's my, like, free-to-play person? I'm not missing out on them, right? It's like, nah, they just kind of threw Nobukatsu our way. Now, the command codes for this event are kind of okay, I suppose. Like, this is not a bad one. It's just nice. Slap this on whatever card you want to be doing your crits on. If it's an Arts Servant, put it on their Arts card. If it's a Buster Servant, put it on their Buster card. Pretty self-explanatory. Just really good on any of your offensive servants, realistically. So don't, like, be sweating, being like, who do I gotta put this one on? I don't want to ruin the servant. It's like, it's kind of a free one. You can slap it on whoever. Same thing for this one over here, the 3-star one. Kind of just throw this on whatever you want. I know people get a kick out of putting the crit star drop ones on the arts card, so it's like, hey, look, my arts card is genning stars. But realistically, just put it on whatever card you want to have a little bit of an extra kick. You're going to get that little bit of extra critical damage, and hey, you get a free whole star out of it. Isn't that nice? Now, this one's kind of interesting because I don't really see a usage of it besides someone like the Mao Nobu, which is the Avenger Nobu, or like the Berserker Nobu. Basically, these units that can give themselves the burning battlefield thing. So I guess I would just wait until you pull one of those guys and then just slap it on their Buster cards and let them go absolutely hamtaro. I think I also have... No, I think that's actually everything I have pulled up. Oh, no. There were the free quests. Where are the free quests? Yeah, here they are. Because the last thing I wanted to mention is the free quest farming is not all that difficult for this event. I kind of just popped over to it and showed you guys the worst one, quote unquote. But one, if you're Buster farming, you don't even care about this being a 213 node. If you're arts farming, you should be fine. But if you're finding trouble, you can use like your AoE looper, say your Space Ishtar, to clean this up. And then maybe because Castoria gives 60% to the entire party, you can have one Castoria kind of fire her buffs, give everything to Space Ishtar, plug suit in the other Castoria, have her give everything to Space Ishtar, but have, like, say, a single target Saber, Berserker, whoever you think can actually just kind of chunk this enemy right here. They'll get 60% from that Castoria, and if they have like a 40 to 50% battery, they'll fill that up. If you have their Append skill unlocked, it makes it even easier for them, and that also is not even taking into account starting charge CEs. If you're doing arts, you have a way to get it done. Just, you know, put some single target here, and, you know, your Space Ishtar, whoever your maiden looper is, your Muramasa, your Jason even, I imagine might be able to get it done. Although, Jason might be a little bit iffy because the arts unit I'm imagining would have to have a pretty good battery. Like, that's why I'm thinking Space Ishtar, because I imagine she'll loop around like 50 to 60 back between these two guys. I'm thinking about mine at NP2, and then you just fire her battery, and then you got this one on lock, and you use your single target to chunk this. But the rest of them, these are all 333 nodes. So if you can't do this one, or you're just really struggling, maybe your only choice is to do quick farming or something, then, you know, don't even worry about doing this. Just hit some of these other ones. This is just if you want to be like the most efficient way in, you know, in farming, because it drops all the material, drops all the building material, drops all the currency, and the drops aren't all that bad. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I think this event is rather swell. I'm really looking forward to it. I know it might be a little exhausting for some people because we just had Nero Fest take some of our apples. You might have burned some apples during the hunting quest. You might have burned some during summer. You might have had to use a couple to finish up the point ladder for Halloween, and now immediately after we have another really good event with raids that you're going to want to farm, and then that's going to be followed by another lottery where you really want to save your apples for that. But, you know, just hit the raids as much as you can and save some of your apples for, you know, farming the different boxes and everything. I would say if you're going to be casual for the lottery, at least make sure you've got like 50 gold apples. But realistically, if you want to go hard in the paint, make sure you got like your 100 gold apples ready to go. But I understand, look, I'm stuck at 65 gold apples. I'm still trying to recover my stash because I'm really trying not to use them. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace late, guys.